What's up, YouTube? For my trucking folks out there, coming back at you now. Now, I made a video about the freshman honeymoon phase. Look, if you are still in love with trucking, if you're in the honeymoon phase of trucking, if you're still a rookie, or if you're thinking about getting into trucking, I would say don't watch this video. Come back to this later. Come back to this after you've put down at least 100,000 miles in trucking. Come back to this later and watch some of my other videos. Like, comment, and subscribe. But this one, I don't want to throw you off. You know, it's kind of like the butterfly effect. I don't want you, rookie truck driver, watching this. Not yet. I don't want you watching this until you know what it's like to be burnt out and overworked and kind of done with that honeymoon phase of trucking, where things get real. So I'm going to give a moment of silence for you to exit the room and watch some of my other content if you are, you know, like what I said, if you're a new truck driver and you're in a honeymoon phase, you love it, you're in love with it, it's great, there's almost nothing bad about it. You know, you're coming up in life, you're knocking out your goals. Watch my other videos. Come back to this in a year or two, okay? But for my truck drivers and for other people that are not truck drivers that are just curious but have no ambition of getting into trucking, this is for you. This is for everybody else. Let's talk about what I call the sophomore blues. This is my opinion, okay? This is just my experience. Now, the sophomore blues is when you've done kind of slid out of that honeymoon phase, and it can be in cycles. You know, you kind of fall out of the honeymoon phase and then you take a little week or two off and you kind of come back, or you take maybe a few months off and you come back into the honeymoon phase. Hey, look, this is when you have fully slid into, you know, you've taken some time off to kind of decompress and to cure the burnout, to cure, you know, to kind of give yourself a break, and you still come back and you realize, man, I'm overworked and underpaid. Look, so the sophomore blues is a very interesting phase, and for me, it happened in cycles. You know, for me, the fun in trucking was the scenery and the new places and the new sights and the new experiences. Never knowing, this was a big one for me, never knowing where I'm going next. You know, that excitement of maybe I'll go somewhere new, maybe I'll go somewhere that I've never seen before. Maybe it's going to really excite me, this next load I get, man. Maybe I'm going to go to a state I've never been to. You know, all that. You know, this is when you start getting to a point where you realize, man, damn, you know, trucking has really helped me in my life and whatnot, but man, I really am, like, I'm coming up in life and it's good. It's changed my life for the better, but man, damn. I really am sacrificing a lot of my time that I'm not getting paid for. Come on. Because you do realize at a certain point that, man, there's a lot of hours. There's a lot of job duties and activities that are part of the job and that you don't get paid for. But everybody else out there working an hourly job, they get paid for what they do. And I don't want to hear no BS from somebody out there. Well, you get paid a good cent per mile to compensate for that. You don't know what you're talking about. Only idiots, only fools talk about stuff that they know nothing about. Come on now. The reality is that. And, you know, this is kind of an inspiration to you, truck driver. Look, it's true. And you got to work hard and you got to find your way in this trucking industry and in this career and in life to make the most of whatever it is. But you can, and hopefully you will. But you're going to have to fight, scratch, and claw. Whether it's in trucking or it's something else. But truck driver, keep working hard. If you don't feel like this in trucking, I don't think you're working hard enough. I don't think you're living in the truck enough. I don't think you're putting down enough miles. I don't think you're working enough hours, because in my opinion, if you do not push yourself to the point that you start getting burnt out, tired, and exhausted, and kind of over it. And if it doesn't push you to wake up with how much sacrifice and time that you're not getting paid, you're not doing enough. You're not doing enough. Because, and I hope that you do. I hope, my recommendation is that you do. Okay? Because that's the only way you're going to come up in life, is to work as much as you can and push it. You have to, man. So, when you get to that phase, just know that you're going to reach your goals. You're going to accomplish what you're looking to do, but you have to stay strong. And you have to always have your mind on the vision and the plan. You have to have a plan. You have to have a vision. You have to be learning about how to save more money, how to lower your expenses, how can you make more money, how can you maybe go to another company or whatever the case may be, how can you maybe change the company you're with and maybe you'll find a better outfit, maybe you'll find something that works better for you. Okay, how can you level up your knowledge of investing and trade up to bigger goals, bigger ambitions? How can you stay focused? If you need to go take a week off, take maybe 3 or 4 weeks off a year, and that's on that grind. If you need to go take a week off, eventually, go get your mind right, and then get ready to burn it down again and work. It will come together, but you got to stay strong. You're in that phase, that sophomore blues, where you start waking up and realizing, man, it's a lot of sacrifice, a lot of time that you're not getting paid for, a lot of sacrifice. And it can almost feel like you would be better off working another job or finding another career. But guess what? You're probably doing the right thing if you're doing the right stuff. If you're living in the truck, if you're saving your money, if you're pushing yourself to the limit, every month, every week, every year, pushing to the limit and learning more, getting better at saving your money, limiting your expenses, learning more and better ways to invest your money, learning about economics and finance and all these things, trying to do better and level up. If you're doing all those things, you're doing the right stuff. You just got to go through the sophomore blues. It's a very interesting time. It's kind of like a mood swing thing where you go up and down with it. You get really burnt out, but you got to do whatever you can to push through it. Just push and push. And then maybe you get to what I experienced, which was the next phase. The junior, maybe I call it, I can't remember what I'm calling it. The junior come up, where things actually turn back around. All of a sudden, things do turn around, or things do happen for you. You accomplish your goals, or you really get through this phase of burnout and kind of non-clarity. Molly, stop licking. Stop. All right. So, there you go. That's for my sophomore blues. That's for my truck drivers and everybody else. I'm out. Say bye. Ooh. Bye-bye.